Cutting sugar can feel like the cleanest decision you have made in months. And then weirdly, you start thinking about cookies at 10 a.m. You are not weak. There is a real pattern here. For a lot of people, the moment sugar becomes forbidden, cravings get louder, not quieter. And if you push through long enough, it can snap into a binge that feels totally out of character. What is going on is not just willpower. It is a mix of brain prediction, blood sugar swings, habit loops, and a rule-based mindset that turns food into a test. The stricter the rule, the more your brain treats sugar as a scarce resource. Scarcity changes attention. It changes urgency. It changes how rewarding the first bite feels. So the goal is not to shame sugar or to defend it. The goal is to understand why a sugar-free rule can backfire, and how to build a plan that reduces cravings instead of stockpiling them. Moving to slide 2. First mechanism. Your brain hates uncertainty around energy. Sugar is a fast signal, not just calories, but a predictable hit of sweetness that your brain has learned to associate with quick relief. When you remove it abruptly, the brain does not calmly accept the change. It starts running prediction errors. Basically, it expected a certain reward at certain times, and it did not arrive. That mismatch creates tension and attention. You start scanning for the missing thing. This is why cravings can show up, even if your meals are technically big enough. The craving is not always hunger. It can be the brain asking, where is the predictable reward that usually comes after lunch, during the afternoon dip, or at night on the couch? And the more often you used sugar as a pattern marker, like a dessert after dinner, the stronger that prediction becomes. Removing sugar without replacing the pattern is like deleting a line of code and hoping the program still runs. Moving to slide 3. Second mechanism. Blood sugar and energy swings. People hear sugar-free and think stable energy. But the transition period can be messy, especially if you replace sugar with meals that are too light, too low in carbs, or just not satisfying. If breakfast becomes coffee and something tiny, you might feel fine for a bit. Then the drop hits. Your body starts pushing for quick energy, and your brain has a very strong opinion about what counts as quick energy. This is where cravings feel physical. Shaky, edgy, distracted. You might even think you are craving sugar, but what you are really craving is fast glucose because you are underfueled. To be clear, not everyone needs high sugar, but most people do better when their meals have enough total calories and a solid mix of protein, fiber-rich carbs, and fats. If the sugar-free rule quietly makes you eat less overall, cravings are a predictable outcome. Moving to slide 4. Third mechanism, the forbidden fruit effect. The moment you label a food as off-limits, your attention sticks to it. This is not a personality flaw. It is a normal cognitive rebound. Try not to think about a pink elephant. You know what happens. Food works the same way, except food also has real reward chemistry attached. When sugar is allowed sometimes, your brain can treat it as background noise. When sugar is forbidden, it becomes a high salience object. You notice it everywhere. You remember every commercial. You smell it in the bakery aisle from across the store. And here is the dangerous part. If you do eventually break the rule, your brain often switches into might as well mode. The rule is broken, so the day is ruined, so you eat more than you even wanted. That is how a single cookie turns into a full binge, not because of the cookie. Moving to slide 5. Fourth mechanism, habit loops. A craving is often a cue, not a command. You get a cue like stress, boredom, or finishing a meal. Then you have a routine, like sweet snack. Then you get a reward, like comfort or a mental reset. Going sugar-free removes the routine, but it does not remove the cue. So the cue fires, and your brain goes, okay, where is the routine that fixes this feeling? If you do not install a new routine, cravings stay active. And they can build, because the cue keeps showing up every day. Work stress does not disappear because you stopped eating sugar. This is where people get confused. They say, I quit sugar and now I think about it more. What they actually did was keep the same stress pattern, the same evening fatigue, the same social triggers, and they removed the only tool they had. You need replacement behaviors that give a similar reward without turning into a new obsession. Moving to slide 6. Fifth mechanism. Stress biology. When you are stressed, sleep-deprived, or overtrained, your appetite signals shift. Studies show stress can increase preference for highly palatable foods, especially sweet and high-energy options. So if you pick a high-stress week to go sugar-free, you are basically choosing hard mode. Your brain is already looking for relief. Removing a common relief tool can create a pressure cooker effect. This is also why night cravings are so common. Not because you are broken at night, but because self-control is a resource that gets taxed. Your day is full of decisions. By evening, your brain wants the easiest reward available. Sugar-free plans often ignore this. They focus on food purity, not on stress load. But cravings are not just about food. They are about your nervous system trying to regulate. If you want fewer binges, you have to treat sleep, recovery, and stress management as part of the nutrition plan. Moving to slide 7. Sixth mechanism. What you replace sugar with matters. Some replacements keep the craving cycle alive. If you swap sugar for ultra-sweet zero-calorie products, you may keep training your palate to expect intense sweetness. For some people, that keeps the mental spotlight on sweet flavors. It is not that these products are automatically bad. It is that the strategy can backfire if your goal is to reduce preoccupation. Another common replacement is low-sugar snacks that are basically refined starch. They can digest fast and feel unsatisfying. Then you end up grazing. Grazing keeps insulin and appetite signals bouncing around, and your brain never gets the clear message that you ate a real meal. A better replacement is not a fake dessert. It is a satisfying structure. Meals with protein, fiber-rich carbs, and fats. And snacks that have a clear purpose, not just something to do with your mouth. Sugar-free works better when it's not sweetness-focused all day. Moving to slide 8, seventh mechanism, the identity trap. When you say, "I am sugar-free," it sounds strong, but it can also make eating feel like a moral identity. Then one unplanned bite is not just a bite. It becomes "I failed." And shame is gasoline for binges. Because shame pushes you to hide, to rush, to disconnect from your body. That is the opposite of mindful eating. A more stable identity is "I am someone who eats in a way that supports my energy." That identity can include flexibility. It can include learning. It can include a dessert at a birthday, without turning it into a week-long spiral. If you notice that your sugar-free plan comes with a lot of self-talk like clean, dirty, good, bad, that is a red flag. Those labels increase stress and reduce problem-solving. You want a plan that makes you calmer around food, not more tense. Moving to slide 9. So how do you go lower sugar without triggering the binge cycle? Start with a different goal. Instead of zero sugar, aim for predictable eating. Predictable means you eat enough at meals, at roughly consistent times, so your brain stops panicking about scarcity. It also means you decide in advance where sweet foods fit, if they fit at all, instead of relying on moment-to-moment restraint. One practical approach is a step down. You reduce the most trigger-heavy forms first, like liquid sugar and mindless snacking sweets. But you keep meals satisfying, and you keep one planned sweet option if total restriction tends to backfire for you. Another approach is a 2-lane plan. Lane 1 is everyday eating that is lower in added sugar. Lane 2 is planned occasions, like social events, where you choose intentionally. This is not permission to binge. It is a structure that prevents the rebound. Moving to slide 10. Now let us get tactical with cravings. When a craving hits, ask one question first. Is this hunger, or is this a cue? If it is hunger, the fix is food, not a distraction. A real snack with protein and fiber, or a proper meal. Many binges start because someone tries to white-knuckle actual hunger. If it is a cue, you want a short replacement routine, something that gives a reward fast. A warm drink like herbal tea, a 5-minute walk, a shower, a quick journal note. Even brushing your teeth can create a clean break. Here's the important part. You are not trying to win a fight against your brain. You are trying to teach it a new association. Cue equals new routine equals relief. And if you do choose to eat something sweet, do it seated, portioned, and without multitasking. That removes the binge vibe and keeps it in the realm of a choice. Moving to slide 11. Let us talk about the binge itself, because this is where people get stuck. A binge is often a chain reaction. It starts with restriction, then stress, then a trigger food, then the thought, I blew it. If you want to break the chain, the most powerful moment is right after the first slip, not after the binge, after the slip. Your job in that moment is to prevent escalation. You do that by removing the courtroom. No self-trial. You say, okay, that happened. What is the next normal meal? Then you return to structure quickly. Hydrate. Eat a balanced meal at the next planned time. Do not skip meals to compensate. Compensation increases hunger and makes the next craving stronger. And if binges are frequent, it can help to track patterns with curiosity. What time? What emotion? What level of hunger? Moving to slide 12. Another piece people miss is environment design. If your home is set up like a constant temptation test, you will eventually lose that test. Not because you are weak, but because constant exposure increases mental fatigue. A smarter approach is friction. Put the most binge-prone sweets out of immediate reach, or buy single portions instead of bulk. Keep satisfying lower sugar options easy to grab. Nuts, fruit, yogurt, whole grain snacks, whatever works for you. Also watch your liquid calories. Sugary drinks are a special category because they do not create fullness the same way solid food does.
Many people see a big difference just by shifting to water, sparkling water, coffee, or unsweetened tea.
And then there is social environment. If you are going sugar-free to prove something, social pressure can break you. If you are doing it to feel better, you can be calm and flexible. Make the easy choice the default choice. Moving to slide 13. Let us make this practical with a simple framework you can remember. The 3S plan. Satisfy, stabilize, and soften. Satisfy means your meals actually feel like meals. Enough protein, enough fiber-rich carbs, enough fat for satiety. If you are hungry an hour later, you did not fail. You just need a bigger meal. Stabilize means reduce the biggest spikes. Liquid sugar, candy on an empty stomach, and long gaps between meals. Those are common binge setups. Soften means remove the harsh rules. Instead of, I can never have sugar, you use, I choose when it is worth it. That one word, choose, changes your nervous system. It moves you from deprivation to agency. If you do these three consistently, cravings often drop in intensity. Not instantly, but steadily. And the best part is, you are building skills you can keep for years, not a 10-day challenge mindset. Moving to slide 14. So if going sugar-free has made you crave more, here is the reframe. Your body is not betraying you. It is adapting to a sudden change in reward, routine, and energy. If you want to lower sugar successfully, think less about purity and more about stability. Eat enough, keep timing predictable, replace the habit loop, reduce stress load where you can, and build a plan that can survive real life, including birthdays, travel, and hard weeks. One more thing, if you have a history of binge eating, or your sugar-free attempts consistently lead to loss of control, it may help to work with a qualified professional. For some people, the best path is not stricter restriction, it is a more supported approach. If you want more videos like this, subscribe, and for a quick check-in, comment A or B. A is total sugar-free rules work for you. B is flexible structure, works better. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Every habit sends a biological signal.